So as we've been hearing, many businesses are trying to adapt and let employees work from home, but those working in the service industry rely, of course, on getting customers through the door for trade.
What would happen if bars and restaurants were to close? Well, we can look to Ireland for an idea, where the government has ordered the closure of pubs and bars.
We can speak now to Gareth Cummings, a landlord in Dublin, about the impact it's having on his business. So tell me, you've been told you have to close, presumably a huge impact.
We were told to close yesterday. We decided before the actual announcement to close up. It just seemed like the writing was on the wall for the drinks industry in Dublin itself. So yesterday morning at around 12, around midday, we decided to call it. We're going to close indefinitely. Yesterday afternoon at around 4 p.m, the government announced that from midnight last night, it was complete closure across the board.
And give us an idea of, I don't know how many staff you employ, what's the sort of situation? Because I'm from what we gather, you've probably got no idea about when you'll be able to reopen.
We're a very, very small pub. We're independently run. We have no backers. We have no financial aid. We've been in the same location for 9 years. We have 3 full-time employees and maybe 4 part-timers. We hold maybe 200 people, maybe maximum. We're in a busy part of the city centre, but as it stands, we have absolutely no idea. We're getting the news the same as everybody else in the country. We're reading it on the internet. It's not like we're getting private emails from the government or even from our accountants who are in contact with somebody. We are completely in the dark as well. We're winging it every single day.
And Gareth, I'm sure you've done the sums yourself. How long do you think you can sort of keep things going with not being open?
I mean, being as small as we are very, very much a week-to-week operation. And I'm sure there are thousands of other businesses like this in Ireland. I mean, if we're closed down, the biggest issue for us is because this is St. Patrick's weekend or festival, as they call it. Before the announcement of the shutdown and before anything had happened, we had put an awful lot of money into stock in preparation for this week that's about to happen.
Yeah.
As you know, Ireland is the place to be for the entire world this week normally. And coming in after New Year's Eve, you've got January and February, which are generally kind of slower months. So everybody in the bar trade sits here waiting for March to come around to kind of re-kick all the business back into it. So we would have put an awful lot of money into stock in the last 2 weeks in preparation for this. So our reserve of funds will be very low at the moment. If continues, realistically, we can tap away for another week or 2, maybe 3 maximum, and that will be us then.
Gareth, this might be a dense question, but how long can you keep that stock for that you've bought in for St. Patrick's Day? Does it last a long time?
Most beer in keg form or in barrel form, probably around a month and a half to 2 months if it's kept in the right conditions. Unfortunately, keeping it in the right conditions means keeping it in a refrigerated cold room, which means keeping the electricity going to that cold room, which uses an awful lot of electricity, which is another bill that's going to come in the door eventually, that we're not making the business to pay for. So spirits almost indefinitely, beer a month to a month and a half.
I want to talk to you about spirits of a different kind if I can. Sort of how people in Dublin are feeling. You know, obviously people that you're talking to, other businesses, just residents. What is the sort of overriding thought at the moment? I
think everybody knows that everybody is in the same boat. There's not one person out there who has anything different. So I'm in communication with a lot of friends, a lot of customers, obviously the staff. Everybody's just trying to figure out a way where they can kind of keep themselves entertained at home for the foreseeable future. We're still allowed to leave our houses, we can go places, but I think everybody's trying to use just a little bit of common sense to try to avoid, if you see a queue for a supermarket or for a store, you just pass by, you find one that doesn't have a queue. Don't get together in large groups. Everybody's worried more so than afraid, because obviously this has never happened to us in our lifetime before. This seems to be like our Vietnam. This is our little war now, and we have to figure out how to fight it.
Gareth Cummings, thank you very much. That's Gareth, who's a landlord in Dublin with Plenty of questions and, like so many people and so many small businesses, big concerns about what happens over the next few weeks.
Yeah, we'll be keeping you right up to date. We've got a GP on a little bit later. Also, we'll be talking about the NHS and its capability for coping. Right now, let's get the news, the travel and the weather wherever you are.